a person the same way.
Are we supposed to go, okay, I was in
right?
sales all my life. There was always a better salesman.
And Christine
Am I
also
supposed to
said
go
you can't-
murder the better salesman because I'm so jealous that he's getting all the deals?
But Christine,
Let's
really,
get real. This is bull that just pisses me off, Suki.
help me understand that.
Let's just put it this way. Robyn was good at communicating with me.
What if the woman who always claimed to keep the peace was actually the one orchestrating the chaos? For over a decade, we watched her with tears in her eyes, speaking softly, always playing the victim. Robyn Brown, once seen as the emotional glue of the sister wives family, is now being seen in a completely different light. The calm, sweet, just wants everyone to get along Robyn. That image is crumbling, and not slowly. It's breaking wide open, because now the silence is over. Welcome to TLC's Sister Wives Secret. I'm Olivia, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because we are not afraid to talk about the truth that the show tried so hard to hide. And I want to know what you think, because this story isn't just shocking. It's personal, it's raw, and it changes everything. Today's episode? This one's different. We're not dealing with rumors or speculation. We're looking at moments that actually aired. Real episodes, raw clips, interviews, and the emotional fallout you could feel even through the screen. Robyn's carefully built image is starting to show cracks. And this time, it's her own children who are exposing the truth. Her need for control, the manipulation, the favoritism. It's all coming out. Kody's in full denial. TLC's grip on the story is slipping. And the women who were once pushed aside?
The level of communication, the level of...
No, I'm just going to tell you straight up, that's 100% a lie. I felt like he wasn't interested in developing more of a deeper, richer, whatever relationship with me, because I felt from the second that Robyn came into the family, his focus was on her.
But Kody did share with me that when Robyn came into the family and
they're finding their voices and using them. This isn't just a family falling apart. This is a truth finally being told. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will change how you see everything you thought you knew about sister wives. For years, Robyn Brown was introduced to us as the gentle one, the soft-spoken new wife who didn't want to step on toes, the one who cried the most, hugged the tightest, and always said she just wanted the family to get along. From the moment she entered the sister wives world, TLC painted her as the emotional heart of the family. A woman who brought balance and love to an already fragile polygamous structure. She was the mom who homeschooled, the wife who gave touching speeches, the person who just felt things deeply. Whenever things got tense between the original wives, Christine, Janelle, and Meri, Robyn would look heartbroken, whispering about family unity and how hard it was to watch the others argue. She would say, "I just want peace." And we believed her. Or at least, we wanted to. But something started to feel off. Fans, and even casual viewers, began noticing a pattern. Behind that soft voice was something much more controlling. The tears didn't always feel sincere. The timing of her emotions always seemed convenient. Her conflicts with the other wives were often minimized, and yet she somehow always ended up getting what she wanted. More time with Kody, more attention, more control over the family decisions. And it wasn't just subtle anymore. She got the new house. She had a nanny during COVID, while the other wives were told they weren't safe to be around. She dictated the family rules during the pandemic. And let's not forget how Kody slowly stopped showing up for the other wives altogether. While practically living with Robyn full-time, TLC may have worked hard to sell her as the sweet one, the outsider trying to blend in, but what many fans started seeing was favoritism, wrapped in tears, a quiet dominance disguised as peacekeeping, and once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. One of the earliest cracks in Robyn's carefully curated image came during the COVID episodes. That's when the tone shifted, fast. The family was divided over safety protocols, and Robyn was suddenly front and center, not as a team player, but as the one setting the rules. Kody followed her lead to the letter. She had a nanny coming and going, while Janelle and Christine were told they couldn't even see their own husband unless they obeyed a strict, confusing list of precautions. There's a moment that still stings. When Janelle says she doesn't want to police her adult kids, Kody snaps. Instead of working with her, he storms off, blaming her for choosing her children over him. But Robyn was never asked to choose. She had a full-time nanny and full access to Kody, and when the other wives voiced their hurt, Robyn cried. Her go-to response? Tears. But not the kind that bring people together. These were tears that shut conversations down. Every time she was questioned, she cried. When Christine expressed her pain about the family falling apart, Robyn sobbed and said, "I don't know why you're so mad at me." Deflecting, not resolving. And Kody? He always comforted her, always blamed the others. That blind loyalty was painful to watch. Another eerie example is when Christine revealed she was leaving. Everyone had heavy emotions. But Robyn's first instinct was to cry about herself, not about Christine's hurt or the kids caught in the middle, but about how it made her feel. And once again, Kody circled the wagons around Robyn, not the wife who was walking away after years of neglect. There's also the infamous knife in the kidneys scene. Kody breaks down about feeling betrayed by Christine. He's yelling, flailing, coming completely undone. And who is sitting there, nodding and reinforcing him the whole time? Robyn. Her presence isn't calming, it's enabling. We've seen this pattern again and again. Robyn doesn't need to raise her voice or openly attack. Her control is quieter, more calculated. It comes in the form of guilt, of tears used as armor, of carefully timed emotions that always seem to make her the victim, even when the pain clearly belongs to someone else. What makes it even more unsettling is how seamlessly Kody defers to her. It's no longer a marriage among equals. It's a dynamic where one wife dictates the emotional weather of the family and the others are left to survive the storm alone. And this is where it hits the hardest. Not in the arguments, not even in the betrayals between adults, but in the quiet shift we've started to see in Robyn's own children, especially Aurora and Brianna. For years, Robyn positioned herself as the ultimate mother, fiercely protective, deeply emotional, constantly speaking about her love for her kids. We've heard it over and over, how much she sacrificed, how hard she worked to build trust between her children and Kody, how she just wanted a united family. But lately, things have changed. And if you're watching closely, the most heartbreaking cracks are showing right at home. Take the scenes where Aurora is present but silent. Gone is the overly bubbly, defensive daughter who once parroted her mom's talking points. Now there's tension. She's guarded. She stares at the floor during conversations. She fidgets. And when Robyn speaks in that emotional, "Why is everyone mad at me?" voice, Aurora doesn't jump in to defend her anymore. She stays quiet. And that silence says everything. Brianna, too, has grown visibly distant. There was a time she'd sit beside Robyn, arms folded, completely in sync. But in the most recent episodes, she leans away. She rarely speaks in group scenes. When asked questions, her eyes dart, like she's trying to find the right answer instead of speaking from the heart. And maybe that's the tragedy Robyn didn't see coming. You can control a storyline for a while. You can shape how you're perceived. But eventually, even your kids grow up. They see through the cracks. They live with the contradictions. And when your version of reality doesn't match what they've felt, day after day, year after year, it doesn't matter how many tears you cry or stories you tell. They stop listening. It's devastating. Not just for Robyn, but for anyone watching. Because this isn't just a family drifting apart. This is a generation quietly stepping out of their mother's shadow. If there's one person who refused to see the house crumbling around him, it's Kody. For so long, he was the voice of unity, the head of the family, the man who insisted it was all about keeping everyone together. But somewhere along the way, together started looking a lot like just Robyn and everyone else. They were left standing out in the cold. You can trace the shift. Janelle, who was always independent but loyal, finally started calling out the double standards. In that tense scene where she told Kody she felt like he wasn't even trying with her kids, you could see the heartbreak on her face, because it wasn't just about her. It was about watching a man she once trusted slowly morph into someone she no longer recognized. Christine saw it sooner. She watched Kody ignore her children, dismiss her needs, and then act shocked when she finally walked away. That moment when she packed up and moved out, cold, decisive, but deeply emotional, it was a final wake-up call, and even Meri, who clung to hope longer than anyone, eventually stopped defending him. But Kody didn't fall with grace. He clung to denial, clung to Robyn, and in doing so, he lost everything else. For over a decade, TLC had a tight grip on the story. They chose the angles, the confessionals, the music cues. They painted Robyn as the nurturing new wife, the one who just wanted peace. Kody was the overwhelmed but loving father, trying to manage a complicated family. But what wasn't shown spoke just as loudly. Whole conversations chopped down, reactions edited to twist the vibe, silent treatments masked as reflective pauses. Viewers were spoon-fed a version of reality polished just enough to hide the cracks. But then, the internet happened. Once the show caught on with a wider audience and long-time viewers started digging, things changed. Fans began pointing out the strange editing choices, the moments that felt manipulated. Social media lit up after each episode. Reddit threads, TikToks breaking down body language, YouTube channels exposing contradictions. It became harder and harder to ignore what was happening behind the curtain. And then came the leaks. Former crew members whispering to podcast hosts, ex-wives speaking more freely in interviews. Even Tamron Hall's interview with Christine cracked the facade wide open, where she boldly said she'd been gaslit for years. TLC couldn't edit around that. And Robyn, no longer the protected fourth wife. Now her behavior was being rewatched and reanalyzed with fresh eyes, and the mask didn't hold up. The network tried to steer the ship, but the internet became louder than their edits. And once the truth started pouring out, there was no stuffing it back in. While Robyn and Kody clung desperately to their collapsing throne, the original wives, Christine, Janelle, and yes, even Meri, were quietly rewriting the story from the ground up. And this time, they weren't asking for permission. Christine's journey was the first real spark of rebellion. When she left Kody, it wasn't just a breakup. It was a statement. After years of feeling dismissed, passed over, and told she wasn't enough, she finally chose herself. Watching her pack up that Flagstaff house and take her daughter truly back to Utah, that wasn't just a move, it was liberation. And then, the wedding. Christine's remarriage wasn't just a love story, it was a rebirth. Surrounded by people who actually showed up for her, she smiled in ways we hadn't seen in years. That joy? It was earned. Then came Janelle. For so long, she played the quiet one, the practical one. She stayed grounded while chaos swirled around her. But when the mask fully slipped and Kody's favoritism became undeniable, Janelle didn't just walk, she roared. Her confrontation scenes with Kody were some of the most powerful moments in recent seasons. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She simply refused to shrink anymore. That's strength. And then there's Meri. Her story was the most tragic for years. The catfishing scandal, the emotional neglect, the years spent waiting for validation that never came. But something shifted. She stopped chasing Kody's approval and started carving her own space, launching her own ventures, standing in her truth, and finally stepping into independence. Meri found her voice again. Together, these three women didn't just leave, they built something. Sister strong, The new rebranded show isn't just a spin-off, it's a declaration, a platform for healing, honesty, and female empowerment. They're no longer asking to be seen, they're demanding it. They stopped waiting for fairness, for airtime, for Kody's crumbs of attention, and instead they told their stories on their terms. And for fans who watched them shrink for over a decade, this shift feels like justice. ChatGPT said, "Now, as the dust settles on years of manipulation and control, Robyn's daughters, Aurora and Brianna, are beginning to step out of the long, dark shadow cast by their mother. They may not be shouting from the rooftops, but their quiet distance, their choices to break away, speak volumes. Sometimes, silence says more than words ever could. Watching them grow into their own, unfiltered selves feels like witnessing a powerful shift in the family dynamic, a real generational break. No longer confined by the scripts written for them, Aurora and Brianna are carving out their own identities, refusing to carry the weight of Robyn's carefully controlled image. This isn't just the end of an era for the Sister Wives franchise, it's the birth of a new chapter. The story fans thought they knew has been rewritten by those brave enough to speak the truth. The brand that once revolved around control and silence is now being reclaimed by voices demanding honesty and healing. And that's the real story. What comes next is a future shaped by truth, freedom, and the courage to finally break free. Let me know what you think about this shift. Do you see Aurora and Brianna forging a new legacy? Don't forget to subscribe to TLC's sister, Wives Secret, for more updates and real talk on all things Sister Wives.